Okay, so last class, if you remember, we were talking of different classes or different kingdoms that we had looked at, starting from the era of the Carl Linnaeus to the era of this Whitaker guy, who gave finally the five kingdom classification, which we use currently. Okay, I guess, yeah, I asked you to watch these videos. You can watch it on your own. So we will be starting with this, one of the concepts from this whole chapter, which is of species. Now, species is defined as the group of organism. In general, we know what species is, but then when it comes to biological term, we need to know the definition as well. So it is the group of organism that consists of similar individuals, and which are capable of interbreeding and exchanging the genes among themselves, right? Interbreeding means they should be able to have sexual intercourse amongst themselves, and then they are, through that process, they are exchanging their genes amongst each other. And that once the sexual reproduction can happen, or even in some cases of the, yes,
How are they exchanging?
exchange genes, like the sperms get inseminated in case of humans, sperms get inseminated in the female genital tract. So that is the process of exchanging genes, right? Insemination.
Pollination in flowers.
Correct. Pollination in flowers, that is another way of deposition of the genes from the
Like
male
one
gamete.
thing going to another.
Sorry?
Like something going to another the system.
Correct. That is what is exchanging of these genes. So the moment that whole process can happen, and that is what I was saying, like even in case of asexual reproduction, that does happen because ultimately whole of the gene gets transferred to the next generation. For example, like if you graft a rose stem, it will grow on into a new plant, right? And even the new plant and the parent plant, they will be of the same species, because they are able to exchange their genes from one generation to the other, and that interbreeding is also possible if it is through the mechanism of pollen grain and so on.
They do that to mango trees, right?
Yeah, grafting is done usually most commonly to the mango trees. Okay, so that is the species, and that is the definition of the species. And species being one of the most basic unit of classification. That means, I guess we have not seen that part here. Yeah, so if you look at this rainbow pyramid, it is of different categories, right? And species is the smallest of the type, or the most basic. It is on the top, but it is the smallest unit of category or the hierarchy of this whole of the living organism. That means kingdom being the highest. Then if you subclassify it further, at the end you will reach to the species. So that is what is it means by the most basic unit of classification. Like even in case of when you talk of kilometer and centimeter and so on, you know, there is something which is like very basic unit called millimeter or so, which is the lowermost. Of course, you can go into negative scale, that is micrometer and so on, but that we are not talking about here. But the most basic unit of classification in terms of biology is the species, and it is a taxonomic rank as well. We will look at what taxonomy means. So this ultimately means that whole of the hierarchy that we just saw in terms of pyramid, that is the classification, or that is the hierarchy. An individual category is known as taxonomic rank. So that is one of them, the species, which is the lowermost and the simplest category. The a little higher than species is the genus. Like in the biological classification, the category which is above the species is called a genus. So when we call ourselves, you will sit properly. When we talk of the name Homo sapiens, Homo refers to the genus, which is the genus of all of the human being, and sapiens is the species within that particular genus. Or when we talk of a lion, 1 minute, let me finish this statement. When we talk of a lion, the complete name is, I guess, Panthera leo. That means Panthera is the genus, Leo is the species, or any other Mangifera indica, mango, I guess. Yeah, Mangifera is the genus, Indica is the species. So we have all these names, and one of the name is genus, which is of the a little higher category in this rank of the taxonomic classification. So you see, genus is a little higher than the species, which is the most basic. Yes.
So genus is like family also, because in when we talk about birds and all, some of them are like in the same family. If you see their scientific name, they'll also have the same first name.
Correct.
So isn't genus like very similar to families?
So we have subcategories. Like, let's say we talk of food as one big category. Then we have fruits and vegetables. Then within vegetables, we have leafy vegetable and maybe fruit vegetables, right? So these are subcategories. So that is something exactly like kingdom is the biggest category, then phylum, then there will be many phylums. Within each phylum, there will be many classes. Within each class, there will be many orders, and so on. So these are the subcategories as you go lower in this hierarchy. So we'll see that.
So what is a phylum?
We'll see all of it. All of it. Individually, we'll see. You had some question. Very good. Yes, Anavi, I guess you have raised hand. Anavi.
Yeah, sir.
Anavi.
Sir,
Yes.
I had two questions.
Hmm?
One is, so then like, can you go back to the slide?
Sorry.
Yeah, this one. So then as we go like from kingdom to species, does it become like more specific, like the classification, like, or how is it?
Yes, when we go towards the species, it is more specific. Like it's same like, again, we have a school. Within a school, we have class 10 or class 9. Within class 9, we have A or B section, and within A and B section, we have individual students. And those names of those students are like genus and species. Exactly same analogy.
Okay, fine. Yeah. And one more thing, so I don't understand like what exactly is the genus? Like, what does it tell us?
So genus tells us group of species. So for example, we know all the human, they are within a genus of Homo, that is the name of the genus, right? Now this Homo does not refer to homosexuality. So please do not think of that at all. So this genus refers to this Homo, which is a group of species. In that which it includes Homo neanderthalensis, Homo erectus, and so many other human beings which have been existent on this earth. So all those human beings, they are included in this, and within that, one of the species is Homo sapiens, which is us. So genus tells us a group of species, and similarly a group of genus will tell us about the family and so on. So either ways you go, either you go up in the hierarchy or you go low in the hierarchy, you will get the group or major group or the subgroup of it. Does that make it clear?
Yeah, sir.
Okay. Any other question? Anyone? Okay. So that is the species and the genus. So now what we know of currently, like on the earth as of now, there are 8.7 million species living. And again, this is kind of approximate number. There are 8.7 million species, but this number is hardly a fraction of the total number of organisms that have been living on this earth. And this goes back to the fact that there have been extinction of the species throughout the lifespan of the earth. So earlier there used to be quite many species which are no more present at this time, and also there have been many species which were extinct a long back. Plus, if you remember of this dinosaur era or Cretaceous period and so on, from the evolutionary part, that is one of the biggest loss on the history during the history of the earth, which is called as Cambrian explosion. So I will show you a picture of it, which is Cambrian explosion. So this Cambrian explosion is the specific terminology which is used currently, during which the Paleozoic era, yeah, during which the dinosaurs they went extinct. There have been several theories about why did this explosion happen and so on. So that is what I was speaking about. This one, it looks like, yeah, fossils maybe.
So
I don't know. Yeah, that is what it's there. So again, this goes back to the fact that earlier the oxygen was quite a lot compared to what it is now. So obviously the size of the organisms in the this pre-Cambrian era, how it is called as, like that means before the Cambrian explosion, it was also quite a lot. Quite giant. And dinosaur was one of the example of that particular category that we know of. And again, we don't know how many other species they went extinct during that particular time, because dinosaurs were like huge and we have found certain fossils of them. We can easily figure out, okay, this was the possible organism, and using 3D modeling and stuff, we are able to establish the structure and all. But otherwise, the other species we are not really sure of that how many of these they were existed. Where is this Cambrian explosion? I can't see. Anyway, okay, fine. So that is the number of species that currently live on the earth, which is hardly a fraction of a total number. That means there have been quite few number of species otherwise. Now, where is this concept of species coming from? So it is like actually dating back to the time of Aristotle, which I assume is probably much before Christ era, that is before, in some time during BC, I guess 2nd or 3rd century BC. And he had used this term called as genus, and which ultimately meant a kind, that means a particular type, for example like fish, and eidos, which ultimately means a specific form of that kind. So tuna and sardine, these are the two specific type of fish. So fish is one of the bigger category. Within that you will have tuna and sardine and so many other types of fish. Exactly. So that is what is the genus and eidos, and the term they were eventually translated to Latin from Greek times, Greek language, I suppose, to genus and species, and that is what we currently use as the normal terminology in terms of naming a particular species. And though this genus and species was not used by this Carl Linnaeus guy in his classification, so that does not correspond to any of that part of classification. So that is the brief description of the species in general. Again, any question, anyone? Is it clear?
Yes.
So in that does
Yes.
eidos or mean species or like the word change?
So the meaning of these words, the genus was a kind, and eidos, it meant a specific form of that particular kind. So, and then it was literally translated into other language like Latin, and that is what we currently use. Okay, so now this was about the species. Now, if we talk of the species and the definition says interbreeding and exchanging genes, there have been certain species which deviate from this rule of species. Like for example, Zenki, which is a hybrid of zebra and donkey. So if you see this a little baby, it has a body of donkey and the leg structure is of zebra, right? So similarly, there is tiger. When tiger will reproduce with a female lion, it will produce tiger. And there is also another concept called liger, right? So this is what a lion male and tiger female, they will produce liger, and a tiger male and a lion female, they will produce liger. So they have distinct different characteristics, in terms of body structure and also the fur.
So even mule.
Yeah, mules are also between horse and donkey. So then there is this jeep, which is mixture of goat and sheep, and then there is potato. Pomato, which is the mixture of potato and tomato. So you can see here the mixture. Yeah, on the same plant, you add within the root or within the soil, you have potato growing, and on the top you have tomatoes growing. So this plant is called as pomato. So there are several such varieties or which are deviating from this rule of interbreeding in this species. But most important fact of these all these hybrid species is they are reproduct they are sterile. Yeah, that means they cannot reproduce. So when this whatever, I don't know if it is a boy or a girl, that means if it is a male or female, but if it tries to reproduce with its counterpart, it will not be able to generate the next generation because they do not have the capacity to reproduce. So they are in a way sterile. Okay, same is the sterile. Sterile means they don't have ability to reproduce.
So why does this happen?
This happens due to the difference in the cell structure. That is the number of chromosomes, they can be different. That is one possibility. Let's say, for example, we as a human, we have 23 pairs of chromosome, and if we try to reproduce with any other species, they will have different number of chromosome. So during the gamete fusion, these numbers has to match, right? And if they don't match, usually the zygote does not survive. So that is one of the reason that they may not be able to reproduce. Or the other reason can be the chromosome structure or genetic factors, if I can simplify it. All the gene related factors or chromosome related factors, they are responsible for not being able to produce the new generation.
Oh, so like a zebra and a donkey, they have the same amount of pairs of chromosomes.
They may or may not. I'm not sure of the amount, number of chromosomes in those species, but that is one possibility. Yes, someone has raised hand again.
Yeah, so me, Anavis.
Yes, Anand.
So you said, so then like if like say a tiger tries to reproduce with another tiger, and even then they won't be able to like get an offspring.
Sorry, come again.
If one tigon tries to reproduce with another tigon,
Yeah, even in that case also they will not be able to reproduce because the genetic makeup of these animal itself will be a little faulty. Faulty in the sense it may not cope up with the structures of reproduction, or they may not allow the growth of reproductive structures. So there can be any possibilities until and unless we talk of the specific facts. At least I won't be able to answer that question. But in general, there are several factors which are chromosome related, which does not allow these animals, which are hybrids, to to reproduce.
okay, sir.
Okay, so I assume this part is clear, which talks about the cross between different species. Yeah, main point that you need to remember here is due to certain reasons, they won't be able to, like the offsprings will not be able to reproduce the further generation.
So would they get their own species? How would they be labeled?
As in, like this Zenki format,
We're going to like donkeys and its own.
it will not be able to reproduce at all. Oh, that way. These are usually called as hybrid only. So then sometimes depending on, like for
So
example,
like whether you can house it in the donkey family or the zebra
Huh.
family.
The Zenki and the Tigon will not be able to reproduce, right?
yes. So to answer that question, like you are asking, liger will go in which family, whether the tiger or lion family,
Yeah.
right? So it's called as hybrid category.
It isn't classified.
It is not classified into either tiger or lion usually. And they, depending on which like female or male is being used, they have certain names as well, like scientific names. But again, that is not really like well accepted naming classification. We usually call these things as hybrids. With what?
Sir,
Depends on with what?
Horse.
No, impossible. Yes, someone said.
sir, so
Pratham.
zebra and donkey are of the same species.
Same species, no. They are, I guess they are of same genus, or maybe I'm not sure, because
So you said that they're considered hybrids.
no, their offspring is considered as hybrids. Zebra has a scientific name. For
Okay.
example, scientific name. It is not the pictures. I want this. It was quagga, right? And let's see for donkey. Donkey. Yeah. So they are of the same genus. Equals Asinus, right? So the genus is same for both of them. The species is different. Pratham, is that what your question was?
Yeah, sir. So the genus is same, right?
Right.
So how do we know if something is of the same species?
So we have to look at the characteristic of that particular species.
Sir,
Yes.
what was that word? Steroid, right?
Which word?
The when
Not
someone-
being able to reproduce?
Yeah.
Yeah, sterile. STERILE. Sterile.
Okay, so is that in this case, like cross reproduction?
Hmm?
Is that like in both genders? The ability to become
No. See, now let's say, let me give you these examples. This lion, which is male, and this tiger, which is female, right? They can reproduce, but their offspring, which is liger, this liger will be sterile. They will not be able to reproduce.
So that's what I was asking. The offspring in both the genders do become sterile, right?
Yeah, irrespective of whatever gender, they will be sterile.
Okay. Like in
The
the
parents-
offspring of cross reproduction.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. So, okay, yeah, that's it from these different crosses. Now we will look at the taxonomic hierarchy which we are talking about. So this word taxonomy is coming from the Greek word which means taxis, which is ultimately means arrangement or division or classification, right? You arrange something in a particular manner, that's what is taxis. And nomos, it means a method. So method of arrangement or method of classification, that is what it means by taxonomy. So this is one type of taxonomy, because you are arranging a particular group into one category and then go on with the specificity into species. So that is the taxonomy. So if you have to define taxonomy, it is a branch of biology that refers to the process of classifying different living species. In simplest term, it is the study of classifying different things or into a particular category. That is what is taxonomy. Hmm? These are biologists ultimately, especially zoologist or botanist, depending on whatever they are studying. So a taxon is referred to as a group of organism classified as a unit, right? So taxon means whichever group, let's say we talk of a kingdom or we talk of a species, or we talk of a genus, one of that group will be called as a taxon. And then there is a taxonomic hierarchy, which is actual hierarchy of this taxonomy. So it is the process of arranging various organisms into successive levels of biological classification, either in decreasing or increasing order, that does not matter, but it is just the successive levels of the biological classification, and the way with which it is done or in which they are arranged, that is what is taxonomic hierarchy. So that is what you saw in this pyramid. So that kingdom to species, this classification, or species to kingdom, that classification is the taxonomic hierarchy of the biological systems or biological living things. Now, each of these hierarchical level is called as taxonomic category, or it is also called as rank, which also kind of means similar to your taxon. So taxon is a kind of unit, and that category has a certain name, like how we measure length, right? And then we have a unit as meter and centimeter and so on, right? And then a particular length segment might signify something, like for example Himalayas is 8,000 and so on, so meter. So that gives a group. So that is like all the mountains which are 8,000 and above, or 8,000 and little below, and so on. So that becomes like a group. So taxon is like that unit, and taxonomic category is all the individuals which follows that unit. So when we talk of a kingdom, that is one taxonomic rank, and within kingdom then there are several species, and same if you talk about the species, this is one taxonomic rank, and within species there will be so many individuals. So that way this taxonomic hierarchy is being used. Now, in this system of classification, the kingdoms is always ranked highest, because that's the biggest category as in, like I gave you an analogy of the schools, that is the school is the highest category, then you go dividing the classes and then sections and so on. So that way kingdom is the highest ranked class category, which is followed by division, class, order, family, genus, and species. So now you have to remember this sequence. Where is this sequence? So kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. This you need to remember. And to remember this, I have, where is it? Sorry, I have kept this statement here. So before kingdom, there is a domain which we haven't spoken yet. So dear King Philip came over for good soup. D is division, domain. K is for kingdom, then phylum, then class, order, family, genus, species. So that is the way you remember whole of the sequence in one statement. So dear King Philip came over for good soup. So that is the good way of classifying or good way of taxonomic hierarchy of a particular individual.
What is deer?
Like I said, it is a domain, right? We
Oh,
haven't
then
spoken of
everything.
it. Yeah, let me show you that as well. So before this five kingdom classification came into picture, there were like different categories they were being used for classification of the organism. Let me use this one. Yeah, so this speaks of different categories. So bacteria, which are like we all know bacteria, which are unicellular prokaryotic. Archaea, these are all unicellular eukaryotic, and eukarya, these are all the multicellular eukaryotic organisms. So that way they were separated. But then the drawback of this system was, because the plants and animals and fungi, they were all put into one category, or there was no distinction or sub-classification of these classes or these domains. So that is why later on five kingdom classification became more and more popular, because it was more appropriate for classifying organism. So that's when these bacteria, archaea, and eukarya, which are the three domains, they are no more used. Also, in some cases, I guess there are 5 or 6 domains as well in general. 5 domains, which might ultimately reflect to your 5 domains. What did I do? 5 domains of life. Yeah, these ones, which is eubacteria means true bacteria, archaebacteria. So you can see unicellular prokaryotic, but these are separately categorized into 2 classes. Then there is protista, which is eukaryotic. These were the prokaryotic one, unicellular. These are unicellular but eukaryotic. And then there are 3 separate branches which are same like your 5 kingdom classification. So these domains, they become like particular kingdoms in much later time, and that was done by that Whitaker guy. So that is when like we follow nowadays more of the kingdom or taxonomical hierarchical classification rather than the domain classification. So that is what is that D stands for, which is Dear King Philip came over for good soup. Any question here? Anyone? Okay. Order.
So if we ask the order to be
Sorry.
if we ask the order, someone asks us the order.
Sequence, you mean?
Yeah.
Huh?
Do we need to write domain or?
Yes. Sometimes depends what is being asked. Usually, no one asks you to write whole of it. But nowadays, like I said, we don't use domain anymore. We start from the kingdom itself. And kingdom and domain, they are usually similar, like if it is plant or animal. And the domain was also plantae or animalia or fungi, which are the same kingdoms. So there you need not write at all. Sorry? Say no.
Dog and human.
Dog and human? How is it possible, you tell me? How will they have sexual intercourse? Is it possible? Even if it is physically possible, it will not lead to the what we say, the offsprings or hybrid. Okay, there is another concept in these places that I forgot to mention, right? These two things, they are totally different. Sexual intercourse is just mere physical process, and reproduction is a completely different process. Now, when we talk of reproduction, that means actually generating a new generation or new individual, right? There it does not talk of the sexual intercourse. So, and nowadays sexual intercourse is the means of pleasure and not means of reproduction anymore, right? Because people use sexual intercourse for the pleasure purposes, which is totally different thing that we are not talking about at all in this class. We are only talking of the reproduction ability of the species. So if you are getting confused between these two, that is totally wrong. We will not talk of the sexual intercourse at all because that is totally different. We only talk of the reproduction, which is the ability to reproduce a new generation. Okay, I guess for today we will stop here. In the next class, we will look at these different classes, and then I will also take certain examples with a particular category, and then we will explain this whole thing again in terms of this taxonomic hierarchy. If anyone has any question, can ask. Otherwise, we'll stop here.